Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Thursday, August 17th, 2023. It's Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market and the stock market, as the stock market is opening right now. Usually I get on here about a minute before the market's open. It was having some technical difficulties. So market has been open for 1 minute right now. We'll take a peek at the stock market to see how we're doing as the day gets started. Looking over here at crypto to see price actions for Bitcoin, XRP, altcoin market. We'll look at metals. We'll look at the dollar. We've had quite a bit of action, price action over here in the crypto market in the last 24 hours, as we've been talking about with Bitcoin being stuck in this range for 22, 23 days. You go back and you look at the last times that we've been stuck in any of these ranges. We've done 23 days, we've done 25 days, and we got really close right here, but then boom, we got the break right there before we got to 25 days. I think today's day 23. We're almost at 24 full days. We finally get a break happening over here in Bitcoin. So we'll start here. We'll move over to the stock market. We'll look, of course, at XRP, which is still holding that 200-week moving average over there on the XRP versus Bitcoin price chart. But definitely some action over here in Bitcoin. So we've been watching this for several months on end, as it's now still back down here at these levels that we've seen in all of these corrections for the price to get to, sitting at about that $28,500 price level. Probably wanting to see this one hold in here. If we start breaking way below here, we have to start kind of reassessing what kind of structures Bitcoin is doing. Otherwise, it still is just really where we've been at right now. And this kind of final break here, this could just be like our capitulation break, like things we've talked about over there on XRP. If you caught yesterday's video talking about wave counting and then, your final excesses down in here, we even talked about there being that if we went through like 4 different examples to show there's usually one more little dip, and then sure enough, within 24 hours, we end up getting that second little dip. So hopefully that's the one that does hold right in there, as we could see over here on XRP versus Bitcoin, still just daily closes, hourly closes, all sitting right here on top of that 200-week moving average, which of course just so happens to be lined up with where the daily closes happen to be in here for XRP versus Bitcoin over the course of all of 2023. Really, this has been our whole 2023 resistance level, and so now we sit right on top of it, right where the 200-week moving average is. So looking to see a reversal to be able to come out of here, but all is still well. We're still sitting right in there, looking okay. But the thing for Bitcoin is trying to see if we can find ourselves some support in here, as we have throughout the past. Going through these things really quick, of course, follow me over here on Twitter at BCBacker. This is the only social media that I do use. I am not DMing people. I'm not asking you to send money. Do not fall for scams. I'm not telling you to send your money anywhere. I did forget to announce that I posted a newsletter a few days ago, so that's available for premium subscribers over there on Substack. That is blockchainbacker.substack.com. The merch store is live per your request. There it is. We put that together for you guys. I said that would be launched after the course got out. Of course, you can always check out the course over there, bcbacker.com. 40 videos, 11 hours of content, all types of goodies in here with downloadable PDFs and links to additional resources in there. All right, stock market is open. Looks like we're taking a little bit of a turn back to the upside here this morning with this opening. It's been kind of a rough couple of weeks over here in stocks ever since July 27th. The Dow Jones has been in a downtrend, but now getting back in here. So something I've been kind of watching on my own, we haven't talked about much on the channel, is like, if we're going to find some supports coming in here for the Dow, just kind of being like, what does this look like? Your double tap, you've got your bull flag in here. Is this the back test into the bull flag? So I'd like to see some supports coming in here. I have looked through stuff like this. Like when we see this, right, of course, it's like nerve-wracking seeing a pullback like that after such an amazing couple of weeks in July into really the whole month of July was such a nice upward move. But when we see these moves right here, of course, you get your gloom and doomers. You got your rich dad, poor dad coming out screaming everything is doomed, like every single pullback does. But to put into like what would get me nervous about the Dow is one, if we ended up going really beyond that whole kind of bull flag level that sits in there between about 34,300 is really kind of the base of it. But especially if we start breaking down into the mid 33,000s, that's where I'd start getting really nervous that structure would have been lost for the Dow Jones. And that would just be a big picture discussion to have. But to see a move happen like this, just to give you a kind of a reference point to see. There you go. It's kind of like that, right? And so what do you have? You have your kind of ABC or your double tap, bull flag, breakout, back test, right? And the size of it gives you kind of a visualization to say, is what we have happening right here that big of a deal? No, it's not. We have lots of these on the ways up. But definitely would like to see some support start to come in soon. And of course, we're at kind of a pivotal moment over there for Bitcoin as well, being back into this region to see some supports come in at the exact same time. And then not to mention, of course, XRP sitting right there at the same levels of definitely would like to see some supports come in here at these particular levels. So it's almost kind of like everything has really kind of pulled back into these regions where you'd like to see some supports come in and not see major breaks actually end up happening. You know, one thing that, of course, has been happening since late July has been the rise of the US dollar. So the DXY, of course, has been in this uptrend that whole time. That tends to run the inverse against all of these things, right? So we've started to see today, at least, we are seeing somewhat of a pullback happening over here in the dollar. It still has not broken through that most recent resistance that was the one that caused the big breakdown to happen. We're right back at it currently right now. We've got all the indexes up, some of them up slight, some of them up okay, but it looks like really at about 0.25% to the upside happening for the United States stock market as it is now opened. So let's see, losers today, Coinbase and Netflix. Winners today, Caterpillar and Google and Ford. Yields have been interesting. One of the things that I've noticed is just like these short duration yields, they just haven't changed. They can't really get off of like that 5.27 to 5.3% for the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 month yields. They've just been stuck there, even though the Fed did do the interest rate rise. So that's been interesting. But looking at the Dow today, as it has opened up 83 points, 0.24%. The S&P's up 11 points, which is 0.26%. And the Nasdaq's up 31 points, up 0.21%. So again, up about 0.25% for all of the indexes happening in there. Metals have taken a little bit of a bounce today. So you can see that gold is back at $18.99. Really, silver has been the one that kind of got a bigger bounce, it seemed, today, up almost 2%, as it as well was getting back to its 200-week moving average at the exact same time. So you can see it's kind of bounced off here a couple of times, once in late June. And here we are again the last couple of days being right back at it as well. And then finally a big shove. So that kind of give you an example of how you could just like hang out right there, and then there you go. You get your big move off of there, which of course, I don't know about you. That is what I'm cheering for over here on XRP. Is we're back here at the previous resistance, the 2023 resistance, really trying to confirm it as some support over here. But Bitcoin, big one to see if we can find some supports coming in here. Otherwise, start to kind of revisiting the structure. I mean, this thing is definitely more sloppy than what we typically see. This is. If we don't hold in here, we have to start kind of thinking of a lot of different kind of stuff, because this thing is sloppy, very sloppy. We haven't had tops like this or structures like this. If we don't hold in here, I could start coming up with some really weird wave counts in here. If being like, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls back up to wave 4 within wave 5. And then this is the final. But if we start really breaking down, taking out support levels, this one will be one of the more complicated ones that we've seen in a very, very long time. As you guys know, we've had this all nailed throughout all of here, but then as of here, losing all strength in here in this pullback. If this thing keeps going, it's looking like, especially if it goes through, continuing. The big worry, right? So first of all, we're going to talk about this for half of a second. You guys know I've brought this up. I even wrote a newsletter on this. I've been talking about this on the YouTube channel for years at this point. With comparing Ethereum and comparing Bitcoin's price action and this rollback up in here, the place that would get me starting to be like, dang, is this thing like in motion, would be if we took out the low. If we went down below like $24,700, you have to start like seriously considering I would have to start seriously considering, has this thing already rolled over? Let me see if we can find another Bitcoin chart. Is this the only ones that I do have? Let's go with this one. And the concern of it being that was this one giant bear flag or bear pennant, right? And so if you look right here, what do you see happening in yesterday's move? You get a little bit of a drop out to the downside. Now, typically, these kind of fall into the Elliott wave family. So these typically will have A, B, C, D, E's. So we'll see A, B, C, D, E. And E actually usually comes out above. Even in this circumstance, we see kind of a fake out happen to the upside. Now, this is when we're on log scale. If we take ourselves off of log scale, the story is different. We haven't broken anything. It's all just fine and dandy stuff happening in here currently right now. But if we start taking out the low, if we start taking out 24,700, I think it's going to be time to start having these discussions for Bitcoin, and at least. So, and then we'll have to kind of reassess thoughts on the market at that point. But this will still be on the topic of discussion, whether you like it or not, continuing. So I went back looking through all the videos to try to find the times we've talked about this, because I got accused of engagement farming on Twitter when I posted about this the other day. Multiple people accusing of engagement farming. And I went back and found 4 videos where we've been talking about this. And I didn't go back further than April of last year, when Bitcoin was still sitting, when we were having this discussion, when Bitcoin was right here, above $40,000. We've been having this discussion. And I know we even talked about it in 2021. I just haven't gone that far back yet in the videos to find it. So things to think about, but we don't have anything indicating that yet. Right now, it's really, let's hold this level we're in. We've pointed to this for the last several of months. We had an ABC correction that nailed all of our boxes. You guys probably got sick of seeing it. We had the green boxes over here. We literally hit the first one, the second one, the third one. The YOLO candle shows up and goes. Now we're back here. This is what we've done in all 2 examples that we've used in here to show these types of moves that happen after those ABC corrections. So we're like literally totally fine right now, but we have to start talking about what are we going to start thinking if we go plowing down to the downside, if the stock market goes into absolute doomtown, which it's not. It's not. But if it did, we'll have a direction to start talking in. Otherwise, we kind of hold that optimism that we're holding the support level for XRP and all as well. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But don't think we won't be looking at this ever again, because we will. So there you go. Even in an up move, we would. So, all right. Most of the market in the green today. It's a very slight green today. Altcoin market is just barely in the green over here, as Bitcoin is in the red, now at 28.3. And who's our leaders today? It's Solana. Who's our losers today? Shiba Inu. I haven't been following what's been going on with Shiba Inu. They've got some type of Shibarium or something like that happening. I don't know what that is. So there's some launch of a Shibarium mainnet or something that happened in the last couple of days. I'll try to figure that out a little bit more. Otherwise, looking at about 0.25% up in the stock market with a pretty mixed day. The bigger one today is really seeing the dollar start to pull back a little bit today on a bearish divergence that has emerged up here, and then seeing metals catching a little bit of a bounce in here this morning. So there you go. Otherwise, for news today, Walmart raises full-year forecast as grocery online growth fuels sales. Blue Shield of California taps Amazon. Mark Cuban's cost-plus drug for its pharmacy network. Meta and OpenAI, Anthropic, and Cohere AI models all make stuff up. Here's which is the worst. Okay. Global yields march to a 15-year highs as rate hike worries build. Boy, we're putting in the fear today. Stocks edge up as Treasury yields near the 2007 peak. China told state banks to escalate the yuan intervention. Or yuan. Ex-bank and Canada governor polls sees. Okay, there's just no news today. U.S. jobless claims decline and sign of resilient labor market. So, okay, jobless claims looking good. There was a lot of discussion of that a couple of weeks ago. Oh no, it's ticking up. Nope, it didn't break out. Jobless claims are still fine. Shibarium executive issues strong warning about exploitation risks. Okay, so we'll check this out because I don't know what this is, but I'm seeing it all over Twitter. The problem with Cointelegraph is that these things go on for so long, and you don't feel like you get anything. Like if you don't know anything about SEO, search engine optimization, they're just brutally about it. Like you're always supposed to have bold, you're supposed to have links, you're supposed to have different text sizes. You can just tell these articles are all written with search engine optimization garbage all over them, which makes them almost unreadable over here on Cointelegraph. And then it's so keyword filled that it's hard to get through these articles. It's why crypto news is so rough. Shibu Inu's marketing specialist has cautioned the public against potential exploitation risks of Shibarium, the new released Ethereum 2 scaling protocol. According to a post by the executive, Shibarium is accessible for development by anyone, similar to other Okay. The openness makes it vulnerable to attacks. Malicious entities could exploit. Okay, so this is a FUD piece. And I don't know anything about Shibarium to comment on it positively or negatively. Bitcoin speculators now own the least amount of Bitcoin. It's a $69,000 all-time high. Should we ban ransomware payments? Coinbase futures approval seen as a major win amid the war on crypto. I agree with that. Bitcoin slides to 28.3K after leverage fund ramps up bearish bets. 2/3 of leverage funds positions are short, one observer said, noting that bearish biasness of sophisticated traders. So sophisticated traders are going bearish. It's interesting because we conducted a poll recently on how now the majority, almost 70% of participants do think we're going up for Bitcoin now, compared to at the lows where 64% believed we were going down. SHIB plunges 9% on apparent Shibarium bridge issues. An important tool for the new Layer 2 service went live on Wednesday to a turbulent start. So that seems to be kind of the main thing, whatever's going on with SHIB. Creating a sustainable blockchain ecosystem with public good, how PayPal upended the crypto debate in Washington. Okay, that's what we got today. I think more rather than... So if you would like to see, there doesn't seem to be any news event driving the price action happening in crypto. I know most people search for that. Why is... here we go. Hot stories. Here's what happened. Why is Bitcoin price down today? Right? That's what everybody wants to see. And you're not going to get that answer there from the news sources. So what we're seeing is price action moving down. This is what people care about. There doesn't seem to be any real catalyst that is causing this to happen right now. Hopefully this is just kind of the excessive endings. That's what always end up happening is an excessive ending takes place. We'll see if some negative news comes out at this time, right? This is where you're primed and ripe to get some negative news, guys. If you haven't noticed the repeating pattern of that happening, is that something negative tends to come when prices are already falling. And that bottom, you are not welcome here. If you don't know that, you're not welcome to be a buyer at lows, but then they feed you the Bitcoin's going to $1 million in 90 days at the top to YOLO you in. So we'll see how Bitcoin responds here. We're at the level that hopefully this thing does hold at. As for XRP, still holding its lows. XRP versus Bitcoin, still holding the 200-week moving average over here. All is well still currently right now. I saw something on some video today too that like the exhaustion of like Bitcoin versus the altcoins is at like the most extreme in history. And for an expectation at this time of Bitcoin to outperform the altcoins would have to require it to go stretched further than it's ever been stretched before. And so, you know, screaming for Bitcoin dominance rises. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. It's stretched as far as it's ever been stretched before. So, okay, this is the thing we're waiting on. If you didn't catch yesterday's video, we talked about this. You guys in markets in the morning, sometimes you guys get a little bit of like first view advantage of some of the stuff that sometimes goes into the videos. You guys probably saw yesterday, Markets in the Morning, we talked about the percentage stretches that this thing can go beyond, right? We look at it, and any time that it's ever acted as a support or it's ever acted as a resistance, the kind of deviation away is a 4% give. That it's never like a pinpoint nail, but within 4% of either side of it when it's acting as a support or resistance. So we talked about it yesterday. If it went more than 5%, it would start to be a concern. These little wicks that are happening right here are still in the twos. So if we were to get down to like 1935, that's where you would be about 5% below the 200-week moving average, which we haven't seen. And we have many, many times where we go 4% beyond. But there haven't been any circumstances in the last 4.5, 5 years where we go more than 4%. If it's acting as a support or acting as resistance, we're within a 4% range of it, either not quite getting to it or getting a little bit beyond it. So that's kind of the things that I'm keeping my eyes on right now. All looks well to me currently right now. But if we go more than 5%, that's the thing to keep the eye on. So, all right, that's it. We're looking for Bitcoin to see if it can find some supports here in this area we've been watching. Really, how long have we been watching this thing? A long time, a month. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop into the chat currently right now and see what's going on. You can see the market just really mixed out here, but slightly in the green. Oh, it looks like we've slipped 0.03% in the red. Really just a flat day when you calculate everything together. But Bitcoin's the one that's taken the dumper risky today. Pat, thank you very much. Right out the gates, gives 5 BCB memberships. Ryan Rendon, hey, he's back. Number one way to support the channel is hit like frog. Thank you very much, Ryan. No more Mr. Lurker, huh? Thank you very much. Zoltan, feeling guilty not seeing your live as much as before, since me and my wife are working in Indonesia and Taiwan for some time. She asked me, do you miss him? Dude, the fact that you're hanging out in Indonesia and Taiwan rather than just sitting around watching my streams, I will allow it. I will support that you're doing that. I think that's great. So that's cool. I hope you're having a good time. Member for 2 months. The Victorious G. Shout out to Pat for the 40 gifted memberships yesterday. Only 40, man? I think it was more than that. Yeah, Pat's amazing. Thank you, Victorious G. Michael J. Love, hit the freaking like button. There we go, guys. Best way to support the channel, more than super chats, super stickers, more than anything. It's just a consistent like button. And, I was driving in my car. Sometimes you have weird thoughts, and I said to myself, I need to just say appreciation to some people. I need to say this in a video too, because a lot of you guys come into the chat. There's 2,000 people in here right now, but there are some of you, and I'm speaking directly to you, who watch this channel and you watch it every day. You never comment. You never say anything. You never hop into the chat. But still, every day, you consistently hit the like button just for the sake of doing it, just to help me out. And you don't ask for any recognition. You don't do anything. You're just supporting every day. You're like, I got to hit the like button every day. I appreciate that. I know you're there. And I know you don't come out of the shadows and say hi. But thank you for doing that every day. The Jake Foose Show says, Jake Foose, emotional log. I am afraid. Huddle. There you go. Write it down, guys. Write it down. It's always so good to go back. And I get to share mine all the time. Krepic says, hey, why is crypto red? Make green, please. Love you, BCB. It is probably a leverage position getting unwound currently right now. Definitely no catalyst. Oscars, Henders, and you say, why is crypto red? Actually, look at the market. It's actually really mostly focused on Bitcoin. Oscars Hernandez's says, maybe Elon will choose XRP instead of Doge. Look, I'm never say it on my YouTube channel ever because I don't spread that kind of stuff. Dang, we're at 760 likes already. That is pretty good 24 minutes into the video, into the live stream. Yeah, right? What if it was like X real payments, right? That would be so dope. But yeah, uh, even Elon does say, he says Doge in its current state is not functional as like a payment system, right? So like, do you ever use Zelle? Right? Zelle's pretty quick, right? In most of the country, most of the world, most people do not like having to be in possession of your own coins and lose the protection of banks, right? That's the thing about crypto, right? Well, the second it's in your possession, if it gets hacked, if it gets stolen, if you send it to the wrong address, it's gone forever. There's nobody to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I have a fraud charge that I didn't do, like you do with your bank, right? So that's the benefits of banks, right? You're going to get your money protected in the event that your credit card gets stolen, somebody robs you, or something like that, right? You don't get that with crypto. And so, you know, if you've ever used Zelle, you can send money between bank accounts with no fees, and it takes probably about 20 seconds, maybe 15 seconds to send money from one bank to another bank with Zelle. And like it or not, that's what you're competing with, right? If you're not doing anything better than that, like why would anybody go onto Twitter and use Doge when they could just be using Zelle to send money back and forth? You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the thoughts that go through my head, right? Like, because we're our own little group where we're like, yeah, like being in possession of my own money is great because like for me, yeah, of course I keep money in the bank. Yeah, I don't keep all my money in crypto. I have a diversified bit, but like in the event that like everything goes to hit the fan and I can't like access my bank and stuff, you know, I've got my precious little silver coins and I've got my crypto, and but not everybody is like that, and I don't know if they would all use that for Twitter. I don't know. But you know, something that would be near instant would be much more appropriate for Twitter than something that would take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, right? You can't do payments that take 5 or 10 minutes. You just can't. Stefan Zahner says, hey, BCB, thanks for all that you do. I've been with you since 2019. What's your expertise if XRP doesn't hold the 200 MA? Where to buy again? Greets from Vienna. If it doesn't hold if it gets more than 5% away from the 200-week moving average, right? Then you have to start saying it's not behaving consistently with how it's behaved as a support or resistance historically for the last 5 years, right? Does it mean that 5% is going to be the number and it's going to reverse back up and go? Maybe, but you have to kind of have some kind of rule in your head to say where does it not work anymore? And that's if it exceeds 5%. So if it exceeds 5%, I have to say to myself, it's not acting in line with how it's historically behaved. And that idea might have to be cut at that point to say that it is acting in one. It doesn't mean it can't just go like this, 6%, right? It just means if we're going to use if-then statements, which is what trading really is. It's about picking something, having consistent rules with it, and then having a percentage of correctness, right? If something is correct only 30% of the time, but you have a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio, then this is a rockin' strategy. You're wrong 7 out of 10 times, but those 3 times that you're right, you make 5 times your money. That's the thing about trading. That's what makes it unsexy and not something I love spending a lot of my time doing. But if it goes more than 5%, then the rule's broken on what it has historically done. Is that a 4% distance is what has been within an acceptable amount of distance. So if it goes more than 5%, I have to say, it's not acting that way. Then it becomes below that. Yikes, right? I don't see anything below that. If we start getting beyond these areas right in here that were all these supports in here, then I don't see anything until all the way down. which is still like another 33%, 25%. Yeah, another 23% below that. Then just kind of getting back into the historical levels that have been holding here for the last couple of years, all the way back down to the 1500s. So there you go. Mr. Q, 4 months. Hey, BCB, I know everyone is afraid today, but is everybody afraid today? But Satoshi told me he will increase Bitcoin price within 48 hours. I think the catalyst is coming this week. Maybe so. But you know what typically happens, right? Typically, we're like primed for a negative catalyst or a negative news narrative. Oh, what was interesting? Okay, what was interesting, I think people pointed out to me on Twitter yesterday, was when that break happened yesterday in the market, which I don't think they were correlated. But the timing of them actually happening was Ripple filing some replies in the courts, and they all happened at the exact same time. I don't know. Maybe the Mark Yuskows and the Anthony Pomplianos are all dumping their Bitcoin to throw it into XRP right now because they know it's gonna be the time. I'm just kidding. Ethan Davis. I hope you're right, Mr. Q. Ethan Davis, new member. Welcome. D&D Guru. Thank you very much. Very generous. Morning journal entry. Moving new money in altcoins this morning. Very nervous. Seems so dumb. Should be a banger trade. Yeah. There you go. Moving money and feeling stupid. We should have a live stream where we do literally nothing but read my entire emotional log. From start to finish, and we just relive it. And like we turn off monetization, we turn off everything, so that way I can drop all the F-bombs. And I'll have to put the parental advisory sticker on the channel because it would be absolutely brutal and profanity. Thank you, D&D Guru. Good luck, buddy. Anticorruptic says, pronounce ante, ante. Like aunt? Aunt. That's what I'm going to go with. Aunt. Not aunt, auntie. Aunt. Where's Crypto Pigeon at with the leverage calls daily? I want to lose my money faster than spot positions. Dude, he's been chilling out. Thank goodness, man. He's been chilling out with the leverage. Thank goodness. Again, like I always say, guys, I do not support leverage trading on this channel. It's the fastest way to literally lose all your money. With crypto, we may lose it quick when prices go down fast, but a leveraged position is the one that literally wipes your account to zero. So I never support leverage trading or leveraged positions on this channel. It's the quickest way to go broke. The allurement of it is, of course, is that one guy who makes the 100x position and nails it, and then believes they can do it 100 more times. And that one guy posts all over Twitter how amazing it is, and everybody else wants to try it too, but they end up losing everything. Most people are not professional enough, and I'm not talking about not talking about your demeanor, but to be able to set proper risk management on something like that with the leverage that high. Blockchain trucker, what's going on, brother? Leonardo Gonzalez says, hey, BCB, assuming Bitcoin breaks 24K level and XRP breaks the 50 cent level, what could be the possible your possible scenario? Not the possible your possible. Not sure what the possible your possible scenario is, but these are one of those questions where I get these a lot, especially when there's a lot of fear in the market. Hey, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? What's your thought on this happening, or if this happens and this happens? We'd have to see what happens when it happens. I'm not gonna forecast 100 different things on what happens. If we go breaking down here, and if XRP gets back into the mid 40s or something like that, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard to spot like a immediate bullish behavior. It'll be concerning. Oh no, Crypto Pigeon says, whoa, 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 BCB. Crypto Pigeon got back in the game last night, longing from 58.8. Stop loss at 53.2. See you at $8. Gosh. Hey, you didn't say any leverage. So there you go. Kraliz gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much, Kraliz. Kraliz. Look at F. Fallon says, I only listen and I'm not active in the chat. I keep those likes coming though. Thank you very much. Pat, member for 3 months. Coming to Texas. All right, guys. So there we go. I think that's where we're starting. So I haven't even started on a video today. That's kind of what I need to get doing. That's what I need to get going. I think the things that we're all kind of watching today, at least for the XRP community, XRP sitting over here at the breakout level, right? Nothing unusual. What would be funny too, like if you're an XRP holder right now, and like you're looking at XRP, and you're like feeling unwavering fear right now in XRP. Look at where you're doing it at though. Like I think like if you're not writing the emotional log, I'm just like I want to reach through this screen and just be like, wake up, wake up. That you get back here, and this is where you get scared at. We could talk about it for over a month, but if we get here, suddenly you get scared. Think about how difficult it is for markets and how important getting the emotional control is, that you can be unwaveringly confident and excited at the peaks, but unbelievably fearful at the lows. And if you don't have it documented, I do challenge you, if you are that guy who's like suddenly super terrified here at these levels right here, after talking about it for a month, write that down. Write that down. And like in detail, why is it that you feel that way? Why are you worried? Because it must be that way. Because I'm just based on the super chats and the things people are saying in here, you can see people saying worried, scared, fearful, all that stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of green in the market today too. It's not like it's a big fat blood day throughout the whole market. Yeah, Bitcoin's down. Bitcoin's back at the support level we've talked about. But why sudden fear today only? That's what's interesting. All right, a little bit of shift over there in the stock market. You can see the Dow is still shifting up. It's up over 100 points at 0.31%. You got the S&P up 0.19%, but you have the NASDAQ kind of slipping into the red over there. Who's the losers of the day? Roblox and Netflix and Coinbase, with the winners of the day currently being Caterpillar, Google, and NVIDIA. There you go. Bitcoin showing a little bit of love. Gator gifted 10 blockchain backer memberships. Gator, oh man, thank you, brother. Part of the 702 crew, dude. I'm afraid because Oscar is missing. Have we seen Oscar today? We haven't seen Oscar at all today. How about that? Crypto Lingua says, thank you, BCB. Thank you for being here, man. Hold says, I'm not getting out of bed until we see some love from the charts. Kashav says, hey, BCB, do you think XRP will basically reach the 702 fib in the next leg up and get stalled out next? It just depends on, let's go to XRP, right? First, of course, first thing we do is we have to reverse from here. The next thing is, hold on, I want to see if I can get this set up really quick. I'll take all this off for a second. In an ABC, I'm trying to like relearn the new setup here on TradingView myself right now. In an ABC, these are typically called zigzags. And so zigzags typically have near equality in length when it comes to waves A and waves C. Right, so that's the length of wave A, and then this is going to be our wave C. Right, and so we look at the length of wave C. Where have we gotten to? Right. I can copy this and paste this. Right. Start of wave A, end of wave A, B, C. Put a little line on there, show it. Okay, so the good thing is we have waves of equal length happening in here. Now we know if we're in an contracting triangle, right, we'd be looking for a wave E to be happening in here. And we know that there's supposed to be an ABC that comes in at wave E. But when we look at the definition of wave E in a contracting triangle, it's that it can also be another horizontal triangle. So we do have an ABC that has taken place in here of pretty darn decent size, right? Each one of these is about 30% for each leg. That's a good size. So this was probably closer to 40% for the whole thing. Yeah, right there at 40%. 40%, if you go through the 2017 bull market, that's what like all of Bitcoin's corrections were. There were like 40% corrections happening every few months, so we'd get these. But the thing is that when you look at the definition of wave E, which is what this is supposed to be, it's that it's not just supposed to be your standard ABC. It's supposed to be that it's another contracting triangle. Or not even a contracting triangle, a horizontal triangle. So your question is, do you think we'll get back to 702 and stall out there? We have to be mindful of it. We have to be mindful that this range could last some time, right? And so when you're in an ABCDE horizontal triangle, it consists of a series of zigzags, which would mean that's our zigzag number one, followed by another one, followed by another one, and it just keeps going on until finally we get to the end, and then you can go. So we definitely have an ABC in here. Hopefully we can all cheer for that to be it, that to be the end of it. But should it reverse here and start heading back up, we have to remember the definition of the E wave of a large contracting triangle, which we've been in for years at this point, is that the E wave tends to be another horizontal triangle. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a contracting one, which would be like a 702 retracement, then a pullback. It could even be an ascending triangle, right? Or it could even be a descending triangle. That's still, oh my gosh, I got to learn these new places. Shoots to the upside here. So we'll have a complicated scenario in here. What we can cheer for when we get back to here is the breakout for it to just keep on going and say, hey, ABC is all we needed. But we do know the definition of wave E says it is most likely and most commonly going to be another horizontal triangle in here of consolidation. So that's what we'll keep our eyes for. Jason Cope says, when using trend lines, do you use log or regular scale? The lines are so different depending on scale. P.S. I know you're not a trend line guy. Right, exactly. So I don't use trend lines very often. I especially don't like use them to buy. And what you will find, the problem with them as well. So here's what, we'll just go into it. Why not? Trend lines, like, they're so subjective, and people will modify them to be what they want them to be, right? So like, do we have a trend line here? We have 2 points of contact, and we like try to get through it, fail, but we get through it, then we kind of sit on top of it. But were we respecting it fully? Not really, right? But was it kind of? Like, I can kind of like subjectively modify it. And say, well, see, that's what happened, right? We were stuck underneath it. We got through it. Then we built a bull flag on top of it. And then we broke out of it, right? But it's like, how do you like consistently be consistent with that and not be like, I'm modifying it because I see what I want to see afterwards, or doing that in real life practice, right? Or doing it at this moment, right? You're probably more like this, right? In real life. And then that's what it really ended up looking like. So then you're like, okay, cool, we got the breakout, and then it failed, right? And then it failed again. But then you're like, well, no, wait a minute, I just needed to modify it, and then I'm good. But then, of course, take all of this off log scale, and what do we get? We broke trend a long time ago, right? Let alone we didn't even really backtest it. There are examples of it working. One that did, I think this is probably the most remarkable one of them so far this year, at least, and it's not Bitcoin right here. You could argue. So like if you were going to use the trend line, this diagonal trend line, and you were going to say it's breaking out here, right? Here we go. We've hit it. We've hit it. You can see how many connections it has right here. And then see it failed right here. And then finally it squeaked its way out and back tested it. And you'd be like, see, look, we broke out and back tested, right? And then, right? I don't know about that. This is a linear scale. But if we shift ourselves over to log scale here, you actually did have a pretty epic one that happened here right during the banking crisis scare. And it's actually, if we had used that same spot, used it in log scale form, it was a perfect nail happening in there. And it's not requiring the abstract subjective, whether or not we're using wicks or whether or not we're using candle bar closes. And so whenever I see that posted on Twitter, whenever I see I'm using trend lines and there's my trend, like this stuff, oh my gosh. When somebody is like, see, look, the trend is broken, guys, we're good. I'm like losing my mind. I'm losing my mind when I see it. But with trend lines too, either you're like sticking to rules or you're not. Like, are you just doing it because you want to see what you want to see, or are you doing it because there was something actually happening? The thing that was pretty epic about this one too, with this particular trend line back test, right? The breakout and then the back test of it, is it also came in with the 200-day moving average too. And what was real amazing about that one is the hit of that trend line way up there was also at the exact same time as the 200-day moving average. And then we hit it down here at the 200-day moving average, which was pretty epic. So that one was kind of cool. But I do find more often than not, we're looking for trend lines to be in places where they're not actually at. So I don't use them too often. But you can see there's the occasional time it does work. And in this circumstance right here, this one was actually on log scale. So you'll find them on both. But it's not something that is in my go-to every day. But I'll even admit when I'm not on camera, when I'm not recording, when I'm not on live streams, I'm for sure playing around with them. Just trying, and I think they kind of help your visually see directions a little bit better and to identify things, right? Like we're talking about with this, right? Like this thing has been trending, but now it's kind of like from a base of time and a base of, momentum. Is it losing it? It appears to be slowing down in here, right? I think it can help with that, but outside of like actively trading them, I think you'll be hard pressed to do it because. Look, there's another one. It's kind of the same scenario, right? Same thing. But that's really it. So these two are on log scale. That was your question. These two are on log scale, but you will also find them on linear scale. But I would say that more often than not, they'll be wrong. And they're like a super subjective thing where people will put trend lines down where they want there to be trend lines down. And you'll see everybody arguing over whether or not you have to have 2 points of contact in order to say it was a trend line, or do you actually have to have 3? In both of these circumstances, you see it done with 2, right? And in here, 2 points of contact shows the third one. But the problem with only saying 2 points of contact is meaning that we can make a trend line anywhere we want to at this point. We can make one right here, right? We can just make it up and say it's right there. Even though no support has come in, I see this all over Twitter all the time too. Here you go, guys. There we are. We're in the triangle, right? And then the line goes down. It's like, okay, we're in the triangle. Wait, okay, hold on. We're in the triangle. And I just not a huge fan of the trend lines. I play with them myself when we're not on camera and I'm kind of messing around. But as for like cool ones that have worked, these are a couple of them, and your question was using them on linear scale versus log scale, and both of these were done on linear. But you'll find them on both of these were done on log scale, excuse me. But you will find them on linear as well. Okay, I'm moving on. It looks like Litecoin is following similar structure to XRP. I don't think so. Litecoin's been struggling underneath. I'm struggling so bad. They switched everything up, and the problem is they keep switching it up. Right? So Litecoin's more so just been stuck here at these price levels really all year, really since February of 2023, and it's been in this range all year. Whereas XRP did get a break quite a bit higher, and XRP is like attempting to back test this level. XRP would more be in the lines of being like, we're trying to find some supports on here right now. But thank you. And thank you, Jason. That was your first time, Jason. Thank you, brother. Skeleton gifted 1 BCB membership. Thank you very much, Skeleton. Lakeside Crypto. How is the XLM XRP chart looking? I don't know. I'm assuming way down. Right? No, it's way up. So it's already really high. This isn't right. We don't want to use XRP USD as XRP USD. We want to use Bitstamp as a denominator. There you go. There you go. That's Stellar Lumens measured in XRP. We had actually talked about this quite a while ago. We talked about this back in March. I think the first time I really brought this up on the channel was showing how Stellar Lumens had lost its support that it's been holding since January of 2018. So the entire 2018 bear market, 2019 bear, 2020 bear, 2021 bull, 2022 bear, everything. It had been holding it until it finally lost it right there earlier in the year. That was the lowest we had seen Stellar Lumens get versus XRP in several years, losing that support in there. But there you go. Now, is it trying to regain it? Or is this just a throwback? Personally, my Stellar Lumens holdings, like my bag of Stellar Lumens versus my bag of XRP is like 2%. That may be a dramatization. Maybe it's like 4%, but it's nothing close. Thank you, Lakeside Crypto. Oscar Hernandez, there he is. Super chat to remind everyone to hit the like button. Man, we were at 1,255 already, guys. That is phenomenal. Almost an hour in here. We'll start wrapping this thing up here in just a minute. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out the BCB site and the merch. Yes, if you're looking to get some wonderful merch to show off to your wife how awesome you are and that what you spend your day doing hanging out with BCB is super important to you, check it out over here on BCB's merch store. There's a link in the chat currently right now. I think I posted it in the chat. There it is. Man, I was really behind on the chat. I didn't realize I wasn't updating. You have the It's Wednesdays. You have the BCB sticker. You have your XRP stuff. You've got your stuff for your baby. Your new baby could wear a BCB little shirt happening in here. Of course, drink all your coffee and your cold beverages out of a BCB tumbler or your wonderful coffee mug. There you go. Little shortcut sweater, gentlemen. That's not for you. That's for the ladies. Unless I don't know anything about shortcut sweaters. I don't know. I don't think I personally will be wearing a tummy sweater. But you know, hey, if you have BCB merch, which I know a lot of you do, take a picture and post it on Twitter. I'd love to see it. I know a lot of you guys do. All right. Thank you, Oscar. Hitting the likes for support. Thank you very much. Skeleton, member for 5 months, says, I'm in Cali, and I was never able to wake up in time for the streams. My trip to Sweden and back has fixed that. Thank you for keeping us sane during the red. All right, yeah. I guess it is kind of early for people who live in California, right? But again, man, I'm up at 5 a.m. I have to admit something, because I need to hold myself accountable. We're not all perfect, man. Even I mess up. So I normally wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So my normal routine is I go to the gym at 5 a.m. I have my little shirt that says I'm part of the 5 a.m. crew. I have not been getting up until 5:30, and I've been going to the gym at lunchtime lately. And I've been doing that for weeks. And I haven't been getting up at 4 a.m. to go to the 5 a.m. gym. And maybe I'm saying this live on the stream to hold myself accountable because I keep saying I'm going to do it and I'm not doing it. So we got to hold me accountable. Been getting up at 5:30, which still, I mean, I got it. That's not late, but it's not early enough for what I do. To come on here on these live streams and make videos and try to get them all out in the morning, you have to get up that early or 4 a.m. So that's for me to keep myself accountable. Wake up tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, wake up. All right. So Skeleton, I'm glad to see you're up, brother. Shriven Singh says, are meme stocks forbidden to talk about here? It's GameStop I'm looking at, trying to get some view outside of a GameStop echo chamber. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're ever going to see what you saw in GameStop. We talked about it a couple of times on here on the channel. Essentially, it was just a meme moment, right? It's a massive short squeeze that happened in here for things to get carried away and super epic. Which, man, it sure would be nice if we had a couple of these things happening here. So what'd you have? You had like Wyckoff accumulation happen down in here. I was actually buying GameStop here. I was going on the To the Lifeboats YouTube channel. It said, I think we're going to see craziness come in several stocks. But only this was one of the only ones that I said. I said GE, Ford, and GameStop. And GameStop, sure enough, went YOLO. But you have to understand, GameStop's business model, like if you're going to treat this as not just being a meme, it's kind of like AMC stuff, all of the things. And if you're offended by this, dude, it's not you. Everybody, there's other people out there listening right now who have a stupid amount of GameStop stock. What you're looking for, right? I mean, this thing went in like 4.236 extensioned. It's top from pre-Great Financial Crisis, all in one giant move. And then you get a bunch of people piling in here wanting to be a part of this move when it just went. Like, you missed it, right? Anybody who got in these higher prices, you missed a 10,000% move. And if you're getting in like part of the meme culture that it's going to 10,000% again, it's just so unlikely that it would ever happen again. This business model, unfortunately, is dying. GameStop. They were right before this all happened. GameStop had announced that they were closing stores, and if you didn't, most people probably weren't paying attention. But I do, because I always liked collecting video game memorabilia. I'm not a huge video game player, but I do collect the memorabilia, like the strategy guides and the collector's editions and things like that, just to have them, because they're actually a killer investment if you get the right ones. They triple value in just a couple of years, so they're nice to have. But my local GameStops were closing down, and they had announced that they were going to be closing them down. And then the meme culture happens, stimulus, you saw all the memes with like cannons of stimulus checks being fired at GameStop and stuff. And then you go full extension, all from a move that took from December of 2007 all the way down here until 2020. And then in a matter of just a couple of months, it goes and wipes away 13 years of a downtrend, and then everybody piles in together. So, even this move that happened right in here, which was even funny enough, it even retraced. It did a 702 retracement. For the people in the back who are like, I don't believe in the 702. Look at that. The big crash happens immediately, right? When they pause all the trading and everything. It goes back and hits a 702 retracement. And game over. Ooh, is that the right word to use in this? Game over. And so I don't know how long you've been holding GameStop and what you're cheering for. I don't see it. I don't see it for GameStop. When you 10,000% something, I'm not sure what you're looking for to happen afterwards, right? And it depends what you are looking for. Like, are you looking for new all-time highs? If you are looking, I don't know. For me personally, it's something I haven't touched after this. I had some in here. I don't have any more. I have not touched it at all in here, and I have zero intention of touching it. Macachino says, are there stop loss tips on 56, 58 XRP long, always wicking out? So if you're going to try to knife catch, right? So that's what this is. This is knife catching. You're likely going to get stopped if you set a tight stop. If you're trying to act within 4%, 5%, there's a good chance you're going to get wicked out. That's just kind of what happens. Really, traders who are going to set stop losses are going to try to do it into uptrends. So if you're trying to buy the literal bottom, and you're trying to set a stop below there, you don't have a higher high or a higher low yet. And that's the thing about crypto. If you don't know this about crypto, you're going to get your stops eaten so hard nonstop left and right in this game. But if you're trying to be a day trader and set stop loss management in a trend, you probably are wanting to already see the uptrend start. So anyone who's wanting to buy and not be like a long-term holder in here on XRP, we haven't seen anything come in here yet to be like, whoop, there's large volume, there's reversal volume. We have the signs that we're looking for to say that was it. Then, if you're wanting something like, hey, you can kind of cheer for like an ABC to come in here, buy, then you have your stop loss, right? So it's about, what are you playing? If you're knife catching, you're just going to keep getting stopped likely. And then you're probably buying back in it. You say you get stopped at 56 or 58, it goes down to 55, then it shoots up to 59, then you buy back at 59, right? It's just going to keep happening. So it's really more of a patience game, right? If you're trying to play stop losses, then you probably need to look for a different setup than trying to pinpoint and nail the low. Mr. Q says, hey, BCB, do we have a video today? I haven't started one. I don't have a topic for one yet. So I'll probably want to wrap this thing up so I can actually start like thinking about that and looking around in the market to see if there's anything in there for us to dive into today. We got Bitcoin back at the highly watched levels for the last several months. But I'm not sure if there's enough to make a whole video out of saying that we're there right now. So we'll see. So I'm probably, my goal for these markets in the mornings has been to keep them much closer to an hour. So we have already crossed an hour right now. So I'll probably start wrapping it up, get myself a bite to eat, and then sitting down to see if we could talk about much. As for like XRP as well, I've lost all my charts. XRP still sits on top of that 200-week moving average as it has for the last 2 days. So we're just kind of waiting for a turnaround to happen. But it's usually how it goes. I usually have to spend a couple of hours looking at the charts and me be playing with something and then being like, oh, holy cow, I could elaborate on this. And that's when you guys are like, man, how do you even find this stuff? It's hours, hours of playing around with charts and being like, oh, look at that. Michael J. Love, knife caught once, bled for 2 hours. Yep. So, have you guys seen, I'll give a shout out to XRPP. You guys been following, you see those little videos he's been putting out in the morning on his Twitter account? D King says, is Ethereum Classic still a favorite? No, it's not a favorite of mine. That was a 2021 favorite. Akron says, members only next week. Yeah, we've got to get one within the next week. We have to. PP in the morning. Right. It's hilarious. I was featured in it today in a small segment. Thank you, Joseph. Oh no, Andrew Handelsman says, okay, BCB held himself accountable. I have to confess, outside of work, I've been trying to get up at 10 a.m., but I keep sleeping in until 10:30. Yeah. Chris Fogg says, are there any updates on the drumming? Okay, first, Eric keeps telling me, hey, you keep forgetting to include Friday Fluff. I haven't included Friday Fluff in like 2 months. I forget every single Friday. As for drumming, no, drumming has calmed down. It has calmed down a little bit lately. So after I finished my last show, so here's what's happened too. I've damaged my snare. My brother-in-law came over. We tried to fix it. And what I have to do is I have to send it off to get it repaired. And that has completely hampered me. Yeah, the fishes are good. So the fish are all good. I need to just take a video of that. But I need to fix my snare. I miss it. Because you know what happened? Here's what happened. I found that, like, okay, I get it with drumming. It is not just about can you maintain a beat. It is not just can you find your way around the drum set. Can you hit things on cue and meet your timing? But it's a lot of finesse, right? There's a lot of, double taps and rolling and all these technical terms I don't even know. But, just hitting at a consistent hit isn't what a good drummer does. They have all different types of finesse on the way that they hit the drum set. And I found that I like hitting the drum set hard. That if I'm nervous, if I've got a show coming up and if I'm nervous and I sit there and I'm trying to be perfect, I'm not. But if I just while out and have a good time and just throw my head in the air and swing the sticks, hard and where they're supposed to go, I do better. And so for like 2 months, that's what I was doing. And then I broke my snare because I was hitting it too hard. Yeah, Jacob. Solid grip and free the wrists. Yeah. Sneak Knight says, love your videos. I'm always at work, but I'm watching daily. Thanks, BCB. Thanks, man. All right. All right, guys, so that's where we're at today. You can see we've been watching this for some time. Hopefully this is the support that'll come in here for Bitcoin. If we start to get like a serious breakdown, we'll try to figure out what's going on in here. But we're back into this region that we've had right here highlighted on the charts for the last couple of months. We'll see how things go. As for XRP, it's still just holding its support levels there, waiting on that too, trying to get through today. I've seen a lot of little posts in there about worry and fear today. If you do track your emotional log, today's a perfect day to write all of that down to reflect back on it. And we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Oh, Hawks says, bro, you're going to leave me hanging on your drumming genres. I don't have one specific genre that I am like consistently playing. I've done 80s. But I didn't like it because I'm not an 80s fan. Yeah. Just earned myself like 50 thumbs down for that. I'm not an 80s fan. I do like late 90s, early 2000s rock. Dude, I'm not ashamed. I would play some Taylor Swift songs. I'll let you all know I don't know any Taylor Swift songs, but I would play them. But you know, we did a lot of Linkin Park. What did we do last time? Green Day. I've done weird stuff too, like Gnarls Barkley. You know, I remember when I lost my mind. Crazy, right? Is that what it is? I know that one. I can play that on the drums. I could do the Rick roll. And what else we got? But really the ones I like are the rock ones, right? Hard rock is pretty fun. One that I thought I would hate, and it was so bad in the beginning, was System of a Down. It was so hard, but then once I actually knew how to play the songs, I can look back on all of the songs that I've learned, and the System of the Down songs are still my favorite ones to play. Limp Bizkit. I would love to play Limp Bizkit. I don't know any Limp Bizkit songs. Mark says it's Wednesday, my dudes. Let's play the frog song. We can't play the frog song. All right. So we got some red shifting over here in the market. We'll keep our eyes on it today, guys. Bitcoin's back down here at these support levels here at 28,287. We'll see if we get a hold throughout today. I'm going to start working on having a video. We're at an hour and 12 minutes into this thing. It's kind of the threshold on how far we take these things. Otherwise, I'll check in with you guys later today. On that note, I'm wrapping this thing up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for something to do today, you can, of course, check out bcbacker.com for more videos and content from me. Check out the merch store. Links to these are in the descriptions of this video, along with the fresh newsletter that was recently put out. Or just follow me over here on Twitter. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you're, what did I say? That's part of doing live. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Thank you, Eden. Keep up the great work, BC Backer. Thank you. Have a good one.